Well, this story has been hanging around and I've been really trying to run away from it, but I was like, why don't I do it? William Saliba to Madrid threat sounded by sources coming in through from the side of Spain and very many other sides coming in from England. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash like button, comment and share. If I told you watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name and hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are. And this is the channel that brings you your latest news and information, and strictly talking Arsenal. We started off our day with Victor Gyökeres, and here we come to obviously bring a story that is really doing some good rounds all over social media. Go to our description box and really follow that link to vote for the Eye Dental Care, because they're really some of our partners alongside Mono Gadgets. Mono Gadgets are dealers in brand new phones and brand new laptops, and if at all you really feel like you need something new from the side of Manchester United, from the side of Mono Gadgets as far as brand new phones and laptops are really concerned, not forgetting used phones and used laptops, call them on +256 70 99 88 665 and you'll thank me later. You always tell me that, Rokani, you got me the best deal of all time into the making. So smash the like button, comment and share if you really love us and really continue to spread the love, and see to it that we obviously move to the best of performances ever. Now, Saliba is one of those players at Arsenal who has found himself in a situation of really earning the right to obviously be wanted by any team all over the world, because to me, he's the best right-sided centre-back in the world. Just 23 years of age, and he's really proving everyone right and others wrong that I'm really the best that the world is really eyeing. And we know to it that there is a team that mastered the art of obviously trying to really fish around all Galacticos from all corners of the world and put them under the same team, and that is Real Madrid. And you all know to it that Real Madrid during the summer they had interest in this guy, but remember one thing they did, they obviously went ahead and obviously said, all right, let's pause a little bit because we are really having financial constrictions, but next summer we are obviously gonna come hard for William Saliba. And Miguel Delaney went ahead, obviously put out this story fast and said Real Madrid are aiming to sign one of either William Saliba or Tottenham Hotspur Christian Romero. So for that, those two are really highly considered. And when you look at that story, you'll obviously understand that it's not going to be an easy acquisition of Saliba from Arsenal to Real Madrid. We can all admit, because Arsenal is just 3-4 points away from really lifting the trophy. And I think Saliba will very much seen as a legend at Arsenal than at Real Madrid, because at Real Madrid, they've gone ahead to have very many players that have gone ahead obviously play into that central defense, and they've gone ahead obviously put in huge performances. And I don't really doubt the efforts of Real Madrid and how threatening they're supposed to be, but this time round I think it's a hard nut to crack to obviously get him out of Arsenal. Then, as all that really went ahead to happen, the defender of Real Madrid, known as Antonio Rudiger, came up with a statement that went ahead obviously hail the centre-back partnership at Arsenal. And in his own words, this is what he really had to say as Antonio Rudiger. Let me flash it onto the screen and really see it by yourself. And looks like they've gone ahead obviously sending appeasing messages to William Saliba and obviously show to him that I'm really glad to obviously be that central defense partner with you. Antonio Rudiger said when asked who are the best centre backs in the world, excluding him. This was his input. I would go William Saliba, Virgil van Dijk and Gabriel Magalhaes from Arsenal as well. If you see Arsenal, the two centre-backs playing together for 2 years now, they're doing an amazing job. The transformation from Arsenal, that was a bit before and now, those two are the pillars of it. You have Gabriel, and you have a Gabriel, the aggressive leader, and Saliba, this brother, plays clean. You have to give it to him. He looks like a silent leader. So he's obviously trying to send a message to William Saliba that any day, anytime, you're welcome to Real Madrid, and would love to obviously get you into the mix and obviously take you to where we want you to be. And Real Madrid are really having problems their central defense, because however much Militao is being at Real Madrid, but if at all you know the levels at which Real Madrid demands, you know, Militao is not the player, you get, and Saliba is the player to obviously coming through and complement any one player being considered to play into that position. Now, Lenioro was supposed to be that kind of defender that Real Madrid were supposed to sign, but they couldn't obviously meet the real list or the amount of money that money would have to put in through to sign him from Lille. Real Madrid wanted to pay 25 million euros because they felt like that was the realistic amount in that player, because he was left with just 1 year in his contract, and they also knew that Lenioro admired to go ahead and replay for Real Madrid. But guess what? United came in through and paid that amount of money, and guess what happened? Lenioro turned to be a United player, meaning that they are now supposed to break the bank. I tell you, they are now supposed to break the bank, and if they break the bank, then the big question is, how much would Arsenal consider to obviously sell William Saliba? I'm not saying that Arsenal are willing to sell, but a hypothetical that if at all Arsenal decides to sell William Saliba, how much money will Arsenal have to obviously have to request? I think it's in the region of 100 million euros plus. That is it, because you are buying one of the most expensive centre backs in the world, and Josko Vadio had not gone ahead obviously reach the levels of William Saliba, but you know how much they paid for him. I think it was 85 million euros, and I think Saliba should be 100 plus. So that means Madrid went ahead to make a very miscalculation on Lenioro. I think they would have gone out of his coming through and compete with Manchester United, but the financial constrictions couldn't obviously allow them to obviously push to that level. But in my submissions that I've gone ahead obviously talk or submit on other platforms before I came up to do this story, I've always gone ahead to obviously talk to these people that are really linking William Saliba to Real Madrid, that everything that Real Madrid can use to persuade Saliba, Arsenal is having it. And one will talk about the trophies, but we all understand that trophies and Arsenal, it's one of the things that are really going to be becoming regulars at the club of Arsenal. That is it. They are going to be becoming regulars. Those trophies are going to be coming in through. And I think Saliba might really give it 2 seasons. You know, this season and next season. And that's why I believe that next summer, it's not going to be something easy for the side of Real Madrid to come in through and obviously sign Saliba. I think Saliba will obviously find himself in a position of really staying at Arsenal until 2027, around there, because from now 2024 2027 there will be 3 years, and 3 years he'll be 26, 1 year past his prime, and I think he can make that transfer that we really believe. So for me, I believe Saliba is still at Arsenal sorry about that. Saliba is still at Arsenal for the next 3 seasons. That is it. And I believe he might think about leaving Arsenal 3 seasons later if at all Arsenal doesn't really start to win. And I believe that he really has a debt for them. They signed him when he was still young. They sent him back to France, and the patience have gone ahead obviously pay off. And he has gone ahead to use Arsenal as a springboard to become one of those defenders in the world that everyone is really very much interested in. And we're really having another journalist or pundit known as Alexis Bernardo. He works for Le Disporto 10 from France and Foot Mercato. He has told us that Real Madrid have made William Saliba their top priority signing next summer. The player's entourage has already been contacted with Real Madrid, willing to pay whatever price to convince Arsenal to sell So, in this, one will ask that, is it the reason as to why Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously get in Julian Timber to obviously play as a right-sided centre-back? Because in the preseason we saw it that was being played to that position, and maybe at a certain point X, Arsenal might find themselves in a position of really letting it go, and they're like, if they can get us 120 million euros or 30 million euros, we can obviously surrender William Saliba to them. But it also depends on the decision of the player, because very many players have tried to really be having interest from other teams, but they've gone ahead obviously not to really be given green light, and the players themselves are like, we are going nowhere. On the other side, it's the clubs that have come in through to obviously fight for these players. So as it stands, I tell you, Saliba and Real Madrid is still one of those moments that we're really waiting to see. And the other factor that all of us shouldn't obviously underlook is maybe William Saliba and his agent trying to obviously create this noise to see to it that William Saliba really gets a hefty contract from the club of Arsenal, like being the most expensive player at the club of Arsenal. Remember, Bruno Fernandes went ahead to do it towards the end of the season of 2023-24, that other teams were interested in him and that he was willing to obviously leave the club of Manchester United. He's clocking 30 years of age and is not winning, and United went ahead to fidget and gave him a new contract. Yet I think he had close to 2 years and a further option of 1 year, and they gave him a contract of £375,000. Now, when Madrid is really knocking on the door, obviously every person has to be scared, but not me on this case. I believe Saliba is still an Arsenal player, and Madrid won't really get him until 2027. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below. Saliba to Madrid threat sounded. What do you obviously have to obviously say about that? I sign out for now. See you later. Bye bye.